Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today is part 2 of our Rearview mirror bears. So what we're going to be doing is assembling the bear, and then we're going to make our little swing, and then we're going to attach the bear to the swing, okay? And then we're going to decorate. Okay, let's get started. Okay, we have our bear all made, so now we are going to assemble. First thing we're going to start off with are putting in the eyes. First thing we are going to start with is putting in the eyes. So I have my eyes here. I'm going to take one and I'm going to count. Here's around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just put one in there. And then I'm going to take the other one and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3 into the 4th hole. Then I'm going to take my Fabric Tac I should have turned this upside down. Here we go. So I'm going to take my Fabric Tac and I'm just going to put a little dot. Well, there we go. I'm just going to put a little dot. Just like that. Do the same thing on, oops. Same thing on this side. All I'm doing right now is just holding this down. Shouldn't go anywhere. Okay, next step. Get your black embroidery floss. I wanted to show you guys this. It like formed a ball. Now I got it all over my finger. Okay. Alright, what we're going to do now is we're going to embroider the little nose onto our muzzle piece. So you can set him to the side. So first thing, what we're going to do is we're going to run the tail that comes from the middle of our muzzle. We're going to get that on our needle and we're going to weave that just where it's on it comes out the opposite side of this tail. So this tail is coming out on this side. All we're going to do is take this and run it to where it comes out the opposite side. And the reason we're doing that is because whenever we weave or sew the muzzle to the head. I'm trying to thread this needle with this. Okay, got it. So I am just going to run it through a few stitches just so it comes out the opposite side. There. Good enough. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. I had to use my pliers for that. So I am just going to get this thread on my needle. And I'd say about a foot long piece. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a long a wide piece, then kind of come, you know, the farther down I come, the less wide it's going to get, and then just a line down. So I'm going to start in from, because this is how it's going to sit on our face. So I'm going to start on this side. And I'm going to come straight across. Alright, so there's the top of the nose. Okay, so I'm going to come back to this side because I just came up, over, down. Now I'm going to come to this side. I'm going to try to come out pretty close. Be careful with your embroidery floss because it naturally wants to fray. So it's a little bit of a pain in the butt. So now I'm going to come across, try to get it as close as I can. Okay, so now I'm going to come out. I'm going to come in just a little bit. Oh, dang it. I'm trying to get this needle to go where, good enough. I'm going to go there. And I'm going to come in a little on this side. Well, that doesn't look the way I want it to look at all. See the white line right there? I don't want that. So I'm going to pick that back out. Okay, I fixed that. And I came back through this side. Now I'm going to come through here. Ouch. That's what I was trying not to do. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to call that good. And now I'm going to come in from the bottom, come through, and then I'm going to make a line to the bottom of the nose. And I don't necessarily want to go just through the bottom loops of that single crochet. I might go through the middle. I'm going to bring it up, and I want to try to come as close as I can. There, that creates that little nose. And all I'm going to do is just tie these two ends in a knot. Don't do it too tight because it'll squeeze this bottom piece of floss too tight. Now, where's my scissors? I'm going to snip this off pretty close. Okay, there is our little muzzle. So our eyes should be dry now. So I'm going to get this loaded back on my needle. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the muzzle on here about where I want it. And I'm going to go in and come out the back, but I'm going to come out a hole through the single crochet. Don't go through your stitches. So I'm just going to go right there. Now I'm going to come back through the same hole, but I'm not going to take the needle through the same path that it went through going that way. So like for instance, when I came through, I went straight through. Well, now I'm going to go in and I'm going to come this way. And I'm going to come to this side of the nose, the muzzle. Making sure you catch the nose. I obviously barely got it. Okay, so now I'm going to just go into another stitch, go through, now just come out somewhere else, but come out through the holes. Ow! Stabbed myself again. Okay, so I'm going to pull this end off, and now I'm going to do the same, not the exact same, I'm not going to go through the exact same holes, but I'm going to follow that same concept with the other tail. And the thing of it is, you guys could definitely just glue the nose on. I didn't want to because I wanted to do it as close to the bear that I have, that I make. I don't know why threading this needle is such a pain with this thread, but it is a big pain. I messed it up again. Okay, finally got that threaded. Now I'm just gonna go through probably the top. Let's find a hole to come out of. Do that one more time. There. Okay. So I'm going to call that good for sewing the muzzle on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this tail to this tail. So I'm going to go through the hole, and then I'm going to come out the same one this one came out of. Ouch! And now I'm just going to tie in a knot. Pull it tight. I'm not even going to double knot it. I'm just going to tie it, cut, and now I'm going to take the eye of my needle and I'm going to run it through here. And what I'm doing is I'm going to come through this stitch, or through this hole, come through, and then turn it like this, and what that's going to do is catch that and then pull this inside the head. Just like that. Okay, now, oh, excuse me. Our muzzle is on there. It's not the greatest. You can glue it if you want to. I think it'll be fine. It ain't gonna go anywhere. Okay, now that we've got our eyes and our muzzle on, let's go ahead and just do our ears. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to thread the tail that comes from the center of our ear. We're going to thread that on our needle, and then what we're going to do is we're going to run the tail through the bottom right here, so we have a tail that comes out on this end and that is going to come out on this end. So I'm going to go ahead and thread this off camera real quick. Okay, so I got that threaded. Now I'm just going to run this through some fibers of the thread. There. Just so it comes straight across, just like that. Okay? And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the other tail on my needle. Alright, so now I want the front of the half double crochets facing me. So if I lay this down, I can see the front of, oh, go back. I can see the front of the half double crochets. So I want this ear to start almost right in round one. So whenever I pull that tight, that ear is going to come right to about there. So I'm going to put the tip right here where I want it to be. And I like that. So I'm going to hold that there. And I'm just going to go right through some of the stitches in round one and come out the back anywhere. It doesn't matter. Just make sure it's through a hole and not the actual stitches. Okay. Now pull tight. Alright, I'm going to take that off. And I'm going to load this tail on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay the ear down and position it where I want it. So holding this tight. And I'm just going to come straight down. So I'm going to go ahead and load this thread. Okay, so I got this side loaded. I'm going to make sure my ear is to the head, and I'm going to bring my ear down and I'm going to lay it where I want it to go. See how it just moving that, how it moves the ear around? I want it to go right like that. So I'm going to go right into there, and I did catch a couple of stitches on that, and I'm going to try to bring it out pretty darn close to where the first tail came out. Okay. Now I am not going to finish the ears off yet. I'm going to wait only because there may be something I don't like or I want to change it and I don't want to have to cut anything. So I'm just going to hold off for now. And I'm going to start the second ear. I'm loading the middle tail onto my needle, and then I'm going to weave that so it comes out straight across the other side. Right through there. Right like that. Now that's the front facing me, so I'm going to go ahead and keep my needle on this tail, and I'm going to try to get it as close as I can to being exactly the same as this one. And then I'm just going to bring it out the back. I'm going to load the other tail up. Okay, now I'm going to take this tail and I'm going to lay it down, make sure it's nice and tight against the head. Lay it where I want it to go. About right there looks good. So I'm going to take my needle and try to go, it's going to go right through a stitch, that's alright. Alright, now I'm going to try to bring it out as close as I can to the first tail. If it's not, it's no big deal. I can always pull it and adjust as we need it. Okay. So there are my ears. It's cute. Okay. So like I said, we're going to hold off on these tails only because if something goes wrong and I want to change it, I don't want to have to start the ear over or something, you know, something along those lines. Okay, so let's go ahead and just do the legs. So the legs, we are going to need, set you to the side. We're going to need our leg, a little bit of Poly-Fil, and we're going to need our little split shot fishing weights. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of this. Like, you barely even need any of this. Like, that was probably too much. That might be good. And I'm going to use the back of my crochet hook. You can use a pencil and eraser. I'm just going to push that into the leg the best I can without messing it up. Come on now. Alright, now I'm going to take the split shot, I'm going to push it down inside there. Okay. I kind of want to make sure it's around, or like inside that Poly-Fil so you can't see it through the leg. I don't think you can. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to thread our needle again. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch the top shut to where the slip stitch is to the side, and I'm just going to weave my tail in and out and sew that shut. Nothing fancy. I mean, I'm not, you know, making a point to go through both loops of the stitch. I'm just in and out. That's all I'm doing. Let me get that over as far as I can. Okay, so there is our little leg. Now what we're going to do, as I still have my needle on there, what we're going to do is put our leg where we want it. I'm going to set it on there how we like it. You know what, I'm going to go ahead and get the other one sewn shut too real quick. Okay, I got my other one sewn shut real quick. So what I'm going to do now is I'm trying to figure out so if I put the two corners of the legs together and set the bear on there, I don't like that. So I'm going to bring him out a little. So they're making like a little V, and that's better. So if I set that on there, the middle right here is right on the middle of the bear. So our leg is going to go right like that, and it's going to make a V. So I'm going to go straight into the middle of the stitches right there, and I'm going to come out the back somewhere. Just like always, don't go through your stitches, come through the hole. So I want it just like that. So I'm going to come hold that where I want it. And I'm going to go right back where I came out. And I'm going to try to catch the next row of stitches the best I can. Alright, now I'm going to go back in, making sure that leg's how I like it. Come out anywhere. Okay, I'm going to go back in there. Catch the next stitches, or follow along the line. I've sewn it on there. There we go. Make sure it's still looking good. Come out the back. Sorry, I'm being quiet. I'm trying to focus, make sure I'm doing a good job. like his leg is still to the side. Go right back in there. Now I'm going to go all the way to the edge. That's good. Okay, now I'm not going to go through anything. I'm just going to come straight through, and I'm going to come out somewhere on the back through the hole, not the stitches. Alright, now I'm going to leave that there. I'm not going to tie off that leg. I'm just going to leave that there. And now I'm going to follow the same concept with this other leg. And at this point, what we're doing is making sure we line up our legs, obviously, so that, they're set nice and even and pretty, but also with our face. And the reason we're doing that is because, we don't want our legs to be like this, then our face is this way. We need it to be right like that. Alright, I'm going to get that other leg loaded. All right. Okay, so I think you guys kind of got this concept. I'm gonna cut off here and finish this off camera. And I will come back when I am done, and I'll show you guys what we got, because we want our legs to be about like that, but still nice and even with our face. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm going to finish sewing this on. Okay, I've worked across that last leg and I'm getting ready to go in. I went through the very far edge and now I'm getting ready to go in, and I'm going to come out right where the other leg tail is coming out. As close as I can, anyway. Right there. Alright, and there is our legs. I'm not going to tie them off yet, again, just in case something I want to change later. Before we finish, I mean. Alright, so now let's do the arms. Arms are a little bit easier. I am going to put just the tiniest amount of Poly-Fil in there. I may not be able to get it in there. Okay, yeah, it's not gonna fit. That's fine. It's no big deal. Alright, get your thread or your tail on your needle. And we're going to do the same thing that we did for the arm or the legs. We're just going to fold that in half to where the slip stitch is to the side. And we're just going to sew that shut. Go to the farthest to the side I can go. Alright, now for the arms, I should say. He's going to be holding, or he or she is going to be holding the swing, so we want it to the side. I'm going to say about right there. I'm just going to go right in. Come out through a hole in the back somewhere. Come right back through there. Make sure I like how it's lined up. So I go into the next stitch, wherever I can get in there. I'm just trying to, right now I'm just trying to switch up where I'm running that needle in and out. Alright, now I'm going to come in as far as I can go on this side. It's not liking that. There we go. Oh, come on. All right. Oops. Okay. So, I mean, I think you guys get the concept. Like, I can tell that I need to go into that corner again. But you guys can follow the same concept for the other leg or arm. Get that done and come back here, and we're going to move on to the swing. Okay, sorry, I don't mean to say that we were going to move on to our swing. What I should have said is that we're going to move on to these ends, getting rid of these ends. It looks cute. Okay, so what we're going to do, and we're going to follow the same concept, is we're going to run the tail of each piece, like the arms, run them out, both tails out one stitch, tie it in a knot, and we're going to do the same thing that we did with the muzzle. Just tie it off, cut it, yada yada. Okay, so these two are coming out the same stitch, or hole between stitches, I should say. So I'm just going to tie it in a knot, pull it a little, snip it, put my hook in there and turn it so it pulls the knot inside. That one's off to the side. So you're just going to repeat that for all your tails. Make sure 2 of them are coming through the same hole. I'm going to tie a knot. Cut. I'm going to go in there, catch that knot, and pull those tails in. Alright. So you guys go ahead and repeat that for all of your tails. And then come back here and we are going to move on. Okay, so we have our bear done. All those ends are weaved in. It's looking adorable. Alright, we are going to get started on the swing. So I have my 3.25mm hook. I've got my cafe latte. And we're going to get a slip knot on our hook. And we're going to chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Now we're going to single crochet in the second chain from hook. So not that one, but right in there. We're going to single crochet in there. And then single crochet into each chain all the way across. Okay, so I just went ahead and I single crocheted into each chain, and I made it to the very end. We're going to chain 1 and turn, in row 2, 3, and 4. We're still just going to single crochet into each, straight across. So this is row 2. Just about there. Very last one. Okay, so that was row 2. So repeat 3 and 4, just 1 single crochet into each, straight across, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm to the end of row 4. I have one more that I need to go into at the very end. Okay, so now we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to pull up a long loop because we're going to need this to sew. So just cut that. Now make another one exactly like this, except for the long tail at the end. Don't fasten off. Make that last single crochet at round 4, and I will meet you there, okay? Okay, I'm coming to the end of row 4 on the second swing part. There's my last stitch. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to slip stitch into the side right here. I'm going to slip stitch one more time to be in the middle. So it's in the middle right along here. And now what we're going to do is chain. And what this is the piece that's going to be hanging from our rear view mirror. Now you can chain this as long as you want to. I kind of like the 25.5, 26, 27.5 inch length hanging from my rear view mirror. You guys can chain as long as you want to. Just keep in mind the length that you chain is going to be half of what hangs from your rear view mirror, okay? So I think I'm going to chain about a length of 26 inches, and I will be right back. Okay, I've got my long chain done. I actually went to 27 inches, but good enough. So what we're going to do now is get my hook back on my loop back on my hook, and I'm going to come down and I'm going to slip stitch right to the side of our swing. And I want it to be, you know, this is where it started, so I don't want to slip stitch on this side. I want to slip stitch on the same side this came from. So I'm going to go right in the center, just wherever I can get my hook. I'm not trying anything different. And I'm just going to slip stitch, chain one, pull up a loop, doesn't have to be that big, cut. Okay, so there is the top of our swing. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the bottom of our swing and we are going to sandwich a piece of this mesh, the plastic mesh here. We're going to sandwich a piece of that in between the top and the bottom of our swing, and then sew that together, and there is our swing. So, get my scissors. I'm just going to take one of my pieces. I'm going to set it on here. I'm going to go to about, so here's the beginning of the mesh. I don't want it to be right at the edge of my swing. I'm going to come in just a little, and I'm going to do the same on this. I'm going to cut right here. And I'm just going to cut a piece off. Trim that up a little bit. Okay, so now I am going to just trim this last chunk off. Trim the little nubs off. Okay, so my little piece is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to fit in there just like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this long tail, get everything out of the way. Now I'm going to use a yarn needle. I am not going to be using the needle that we did the thread with. Use an actual needle. Yay. Load that up. I'm going to take my top piece, set it on top, and I'm going to take my tails and I'm going to bring them through the middle and out one side. So that way when we sew this shut, I'm going to sew the tails inside of it. And I'm not going to do anything fancy, guys. I'm just going to in and out. Just go in and out with my needle. Actually, I think I am going to go through both loops of each stitch as much as I can. Just turn that corner. I didn't do an extra stitch or anything. I just went in there. I'm going to do the same thing down each side. Make sure you're getting your back. I think I may need to trim this piece of mesh. Just cut that last row off. There we go. That's a little better. That's working good. All right, so I am just going to finish this up off camera. And I'll be right back. I'll meet you guys when we get to the end over here. Okay. Okay, so I've come down to this end. I'm going to just go ahead and make that turn. I'm going to cut all my tails off, kind of tuck them in there, and now I'm just going to finish sewing it shut. Right into that end, and then I'm going to run my tail through it, come out one side, and cut, and there is our swing. He's gonna look good. Okay, so let's move on. Now we are to the step. We are going to attach the bear to the swing. All right. So at this step, make sure everything is done on your bear. All your ends are weaved in. You like the way he looks. You don't want to change anything. And then come back and we are going to move on to attaching him. Okay, so now I'm in a little different little area. What I've got here is I've got my swing rigged up. It's hanging off of I think that's a skewer, and then I have my big old house plant weighing it down. So set something heavy on top of a pencil or something that you can hang your swing off of. And this is kind of important because this is how we're going to balance the bear out so he's not toppling over. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a second. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our little bear and we're going to set him on our swing. Now, we kind of want the middle of his butt, like this area, to be a little more to the front of the swing, okay? So it should be looking like that. And now what I'm going to do is just to hold him in place, I'm going to run a needle through the bottom of my swing up through his little body. Don't stab myself. All right. Now this is what happens if we didn't put the weights and stuff in him. See how he flops forward? Now, if we would, you know, if we didn't put weights in him, he would continuously fall backwards. And I know, you know, we are going to be attaching the swing to his hands, but he would still want to like, so like he would be attached here. He would still go this way. But since we put those little fishing weights on his legs, he wants to kind of stay forward. Okay, so now I like the way he's set now. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pin where his arm is right there. So I'm going to go straight through, well, I'm going to go through the swing and then through his hand. Just like that. I'm going to do it on this side. There. Give it a little tug. Bring his legs to the front. I think he's good. He looks so cute. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my Fabric Tac. Or you could use the liquid stitch, whichever. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and run glue underneath his butt. And then where the swing is on his hands. I keep saying her, I should say he. Or, I mean, I keep saying he, I should say it. Whatever. Alright, so what I'm doing now is I'm just getting the glue to the little nozzle of my Fabric Tac. Ooh, oh boy, about ran it out. Okay, so I'm just going to pull him up a little bit, stick that nozzle in there, and glue him down. I'll pull that needle out in a little bit. And now I'm just going to run a dot right in there. Same thing on the other side. Ow. Ow. Get in there. Okay. Now I'm going to let him dry, and when we come back I'm going to pull out the pins and then we're going to decorate. Okay, I think he's been drying long enough, so I'm going to go ahead and pull these needles out. Perfect. Yay. Okay, so now we're going to decorate. And I already have a little boy. So now I think she's going to get a bow or some flowers. Let's see. I have a little pink bow I could put up here by her ear. How cute is that? Or I bought at Walmart. I bought these at Walmart And when I bought them, I didn't realize they have these little white things on the back. I'm not really sure what that is. But I think she needs some purple. Oh, they're sticky. Oh, no they're not. Maybe they are. I don't know. I just pulled them right off. I think it just may be to hold it down so... Oh my, look at that. That's perfect. Where's my fabric tag? Okay. I love it. So I'm going to set this on her head about right like that. Ah, dang it. That is adorable. Okay, so I'm just going to put some fabric tack here. I'm going to set that there. I love it. It's so adorable. Yay. Alright guys, that's it. I don't think I'm going to add anything else to them. I'm happy with the way they turned out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really, truly appreciate it. Any comment you guys leave me, any thumbs up, or just watching my video makes me happy. Check out my description box. I got links in there for you guys. And, let's see, what else? So, subscribe if you haven't. That'd be nice. Okay, guys, that's it for me. Check out the description box, and I'll see you next time. Bye!